This is 4-4, solving multiplication and division equations. Our learning target for today is I can use operations to solve one-step equations. The guiding question I'd like you to think about is how can I get a variable alone in a multiplication or division equation? We are again going to be using those properties of multiplication or properties of equalities that we learned back in 4-1. We'll be focusing on the multiplication and division properties today. The big difference to notice between multiplication and division properties and addition and subtraction properties is that your variable cannot equal 0 in multiplication or division properties. Any other number that you can multiply or divide by both sides of the equation will result in a balanced equation. So let's give it a little practice. Here's our problem for today. Suppose David has twice as many pencils as May. If David has 18 pencils, what equation can you write to show how many pencils May has? Think about this problem as we go ahead and ask some questions. What do you already know about the problem? Well, in the first line of the problem, it tells us that David has twice as many pencils as May. Well, twice as many, or 2 times, can be used to fill in part of our equation. In the next line, we learn that David has 18 pencils. We can fill in 18 as the total number of pencils, and then we want to know how many pencils May has. We can make May our variable. So as we go to solve this equation, we have May times 2 equals David's total number of pencils of 18. Remember that in order to solve this, we'll use the inverse operation. The equation is multiplying 2. So to get the variable isolated or by itself, we will divide both sides by 2. Remember, to keep our balance, we've got to do divided by 2 on both sides. So when we go to solve this, 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1, or we can just kind of cross them out and get rid of them. And we end up with our variable m equals 18 divided by 2, which is going to be 9. Just a little reminder to check your work. Go ahead and go back and substitute 9 for m. We have 9 times 2 equals 18. Our equation is correct, so we have a correct answer with 9. So look at this other example. I want you to go ahead and try to solve this on your own. X divided by 15 equals 3. Now's a good time to pause, do your work, solve it, and then come back and check. Let's go ahead and see if we got the same answers. Check your work. Did you go ahead and use the inverse of division, which is multiplication, to multiply 15 by each side and get x equals 45? Did you go back and check your work? 45 divided by 15 equals 3. Now, for the equation, the illustration part of this, if you remember back to the addition and subtraction lesson, I gave you the illustration and said, can you create the equation? I want to work backwards this time. I want to give you this equation and see if you can make an illustration that matches it. So the equation this time is S divided by 3 equals $20. Go ahead and pause the video now, work on the illustration, and then go ahead and do the mathematics to solve the equation. Let's go ahead and check and see if your illustration matches mine. Did you get S, the total, divided by 3 groups of $20? And then did you solve the equation and multiply by 3 on both sides? Did you get S equals $60? If not, go back, figure out where the math went wrong so that you can understand how to do these equations. It is assignment time now. See your menu for your choices. Make sure that you remember to do 4-4 as well as 4-5, which is the illustration segment, the problem-solving segment of this learning. Check your answers, figure out why you missed any questions, and then see me for your quiz to show that you've mastered the learning.